That's a lot of people. Look at that. That's incredible. I hope the fake news media is turning their cameras way, way back there. That's incredible. Hello, Omaha. And I have to also say, because a lot of people are here from Iowa. Hello, Iowa. Okay, wait a minute. Who's from Iowa? Raise, go. Who's from Omaha? You know what? We're going to be in Iowa soon. We'll do that one separately. Huh? That's a big difference. 7 days from now, we're going to win Nebraska. And we're going to win 4 more years in the great White House, that beautiful, beautiful White House. This is, yeah, look at this. I can't believe this. 29,000 people. Can you believe it? 29,000. You know, we have to win both Nebraskas. You know that, right? You have 2, you cut. We're going to win both. This election is a choice between the Trump super recovery, which is what we're having, or a Biden depression. Sad to say. And some bad news just came out on Biden, but I won't tell you about that. You'll find that out tomorrow. Oh, look at you. Man, that's something. Biden has pledged the biggest tax hike in the history of our country. First man that I've ever seen campaign on the fact, I'm going to raise your taxes. What's going on? I gave working families record-setting tax cuts, and in my second term, I will cut middle-class taxes very substantially more. And by the way, a lot of things are going on. You're seeing those poll numbers are going through the roof. I hate to tell. Where is the fake news? It's over there. Oh, that's a lot of camera. No, it's going up. They're very concerned. They're very, very concerned. All over. Florida's looking great. Now, Nebraska, we know is looking great, okay? I mean, in theory, I didn't really have to be here, but it's nice to be with your friends, too. With your vote, we will continue to bring back our jobs, support our police, defend our Second Amendment, which is under siege, secure our borders, maintain American energy independence, expand school choice, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with the phrase, that beautiful phrase, made in the USA, right? I will deliver record prosperity, epic job growth, and a safe vaccine that eradicates the virus and quickly ends the pandemic. And we're making that final turn. They don't want to hear it. We're making that turn. You know that, right? We're going to have the vaccine anyway, with or without it. We're making the turn. Normal life will fully resume. That's all we want. We want normal life. Normal life. Go back 7 months. We'll take normal life. Greatest economy we ever had. We want normal life. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. That's where we're heading. Super V. Joe Biden doesn't even respect you enough to campaign. He never came here, right? Did he come here? Oh. All right, so that's the end of that. I'll see you guys. Moments ago, we learned about the other reason Joe Biden has been hiding in his basement. In a national television interview, do you want me to tell you the rest? The Biden family's business partner revealed shocking, disturbing, and explosive information about Joe Biden's corrupt and illicit foreign business dealings while he was vice president. The business partner made clear that Biden's denial of involvement in his son's corrupt business dealings was a blatant lie with proof. He stated with firsthand knowledge that Vice President Biden was directly and personally involved in establishing corrupt business dealings with China and getting money for it. This all happened at the same time as Biden was letting China steal American jobs and plunder American wealth. You saw that for 8 years. If Biden wins, China wins, and China will own the USA. If Biden wins, he will do bad things. By the way, he's not a good guy, just so you understand. Is there any place you would rather be than a Trump rally on about a 10-degree evening? 10 degrees. It's cold out here, but that's okay. You know, we just left Wisconsin. It was cold. And we left Michigan. It was cold and raining. And I said, I won't put on a hat because I'm going to show you how tough we are. That was a tough one. It was pouring. It was pouring and it was freezing. And it's the coldest right here. I hate to tell you. Well, it's a little later. It's an honor to be with you, I have to say. When we win, you win, Nebraska wins, and all of America wins, and that's the way we want it. Joe Biden spent the last 47 years, think of it, 47 years, outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in endless, foreign, ridiculous wars. Countries you've never even heard of. In 2016, Nebraska voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who finally put America first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. If I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fought harder for you than any president who's ever held this wonderful, beautiful office, that I can tell you. This election is a matter of economic survival for Omaha and for communities all across our country. Joe Biden's agenda, and I'm not sure it's really Biden's agenda, let's face it. It's not his agenda. It sounds nice, Biden's agenda. The guy's shot. He's shot. He's so gonzo. You saw him yesterday. They took him away. I was in Pennsylvania with these tremendous, crowds like this and tremendous rallies, and he had the lid on, right? You know the lid, like from a garbage can. They call it the lid. And they saw what was happening because I went to 3 of them. I did 3 of them yesterday in Pennsylvania. So he went from Delaware to the closest point where Pennsylvania hits Delaware, which was about 5 minutes away from his basement. And he made a speech. Just before that, he called me George. He said, George, I think he was talking about George Bush. And his wife was sitting next to him, and you could see she was not happy. But it's hard to correct him. You know, the camera's on. But he called me George, and then he did the little speech, and it wasn't good. They sort of just moved him out. They took him away. His own people brushed him off. They took him off stage. This is not what you can have. You know, we have the greatest country in the world. We have more potential than any country in the world. We can't play games. We can't play games. So the Democrats, let's say the Democrats, the radical left Democrats, they have an extreme agenda. He's just a vehicle. He'll be there for about 4 weeks or so, and then you'll have Kamala. That will not be the first woman president. You're going to have a woman president, maybe soon, but you're not going to have Kamala. Can't be Kamala. She's further left by far than crazy Bernie. You know, Bernie is like a conservative compared to her. But Biden's extreme agenda includes a radical vision to destroy suburbs across our nation. How are your suburbs doing? Don't ask. Are they good? They won't be good for long if they get it. And to completely dismantle law enforcement and cripple police departments nationwide. You know what's going on. You see it better than anybody. You don't have to take my word for it. Biden's plan to destroy suburbs and police. Just take a look. Roll the tape. We do this for you on this freezing cold night.
The suburbs today are not the suburbs of half a century ago. The suburbs are far more diverse than the cities, but they're being targeted. Being targeted for what? Federalized, centralized government control by the left.
Democrats want to abolish the suburbs. They are too clean and nice, and therefore, by definition, they are racist. The Biden campaign has highly specific plans on how to do this. It's called Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing. It's a HUD regulation. It was written during the Obama administration. Biden's advisors plan to enforce it. Towns will be ordered to abolish zoning for single-family housing because single-family homes, needless to say, are racist. Low-income, federally subsidized apartments will go up in the suburbs.
We'll also build 1.5 million new energy-efficient homes and public housing units.
Thankfully, Trump repealed this rule back in July. But now the left is backing an even more radical plan. It was a bill put forward by Senator Cory Booker to push low-income housing developments into the suburbs. This would be a federal takeover of local zoning laws, in essence. And Biden, he fully supports it.
The prior administration piled up more than 600 major new regulations, a cruel and punishing regulatory burden that cost the average American an additional $2,300 per year. Think of that. The average American, $2,300 regulation, hitting low-income Americans by far the hardest. Our historic regulatory relief is providing the average American household an extra $3,100 every single year.
I've had the luxury of enjoying the benefit of the tax cuts. The tax cuts allowed me to grow my businesses.
I believe that if you take into account the Trump tax cut, you take into account the drop in unemployment, and particularly unemployment for African Americans, the lowest it's ever been in history.
How's the economy right now? We're loving it.
Kennedy credits the Trump tax cuts and deregulation for her company's growth.
It's the first time in 10 years that it's booming again.
The tax cuts that were imposed did wonders for the middle class.
I will cut taxes even further for hardworking moms and dads. I will not raise taxes. I will cut them.
First thing I do is going to repeal this Trump tax cut.
Do you believe there is systemic racism in law enforcement?
Absolutely.
I've been a police officer for nearly 32 years. Joe Biden does not have the backs of police officers.
Joe Biden staffers, they gave money to a fund to help bail out accused criminals.